What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm back with a video, this time once again, where we're talking about the GOAT. No, not that guy, definitely not that guy, not that guy, not that guy, and not that guy. Today, we're going to discuss the NBA's scapegoat, which is Russell Westbrook for the LA Lakers. And why I call Westbrook the scapegoat is because already I'm seeing a narrative forming that Russell Westbrook is the problem in LA, and his overall playstyle doesn't fit the Lakers, LeBron, or AD. So in this video, very quickly, I want to kill this narrative very fast, and if the Lakers don't win the championship, he's not going to be the reason why they don't. And before I get into the video, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure to do so, and if you could like this video, I'd greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Now for this Westbrook narrative that is building, I do want to say first off, I have my concerns with the Lakers, as well as Westbrook himself. In the past, his playoff record isn't the greatest by himself with other superstars. You can look to 2016, a couple of games in 2017, 2019. He's had his fair share of playoff blunders and big-time mistakes. But with that being said, Westbrook as a teammate brings a lot to your team that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. And speaking of the stat sheet, let's look at Russell Westbrook's preseason NBA stats. In 4 games, he averaged 9.5 points on 35, 36, and 60 splits, with 5.8 turnovers in 25.3 minutes per game. Now, if I didn't know basketball, I looked at raw numbers, I would say that player is an awful NBA player. But keep in mind, let's provide some context. This is the NBA preseason, not the season, not the finals, not the playoffs. This is the preseason. It's a 4-game sample size. And in my lifetime, when have we ever cared about these stats for the preseason? It means absolutely nothing in the long run. I don't know why this season is the first year we look at preseason stats. And if you did that, Tyler Hero would be a top 10 NBA player, and Jordan Poole would be first team All-NBA. So once again, these stats, I don't care for them at all. They mean absolutely nothing. And if you're basing your take on the Lakers off those few games, I'm sorry, but you are mentally unstable. And now for the big part of the narrative I want to address is that Westbrook doesn't fit in with this big 3. And you can have your take for or against that, but I think once again it's a little too early to kind of write this team off and say Westbrook 100% does not fit. Because in the past, he's been pretty adaptable to NBA superstars. From 2013 to 2016, it was a duo of him and KD. In 2017, it was a one-man show by himself. 2018, he had PG and Melo. 2019, it was a duo with him and PG. 2020 in Houston, it was a duo with Harden. And this past year in 2021 is a duo with Bradley Beal. So Westbrook in the past 8 years has been pretty adaptable, and his playstyle can vary from team to team. And one of the better years of Westbrook's career was actually in 2020 with James Harden on the Houston Rockets. That year Westbrook averaged 27, 8, and 7 on 47, 26, and 76 splits. And for the majority of the season, he was playing second fiddle to James Harden, one of the best scorers of all time. And Westbrook in that offense had no trouble getting numbers or getting his points. And that was while playing in Houston with the microball Rockets led by D'Antoni and Daryl Morey. Theoretically, Westbrook should have been awful in that offense and not average 27 points per game. And many at that time said Westbrook was a terrible fit for the Rockets and their overall system. Once again, they are proven wrong, and Westbrook had a stellar season. Now also, I want to look at Westbrook's time with the Wizards, and specifically after the All-Star Game break, where he was healthy and 100% ready to go. During that stretch, he averaged 24, 13, and 13 on 45, 33, and 70 splits. And for that specific stretch, he was easily a top 5 point guard in the NBA. And keep in mind, in Washington, they really had no playoff hopes, definitely no championship hopes, and Westbrook still played hard and brought a Wizards team that was the 10th seed and got them into the playoffs. So really, in summary, Westbrook for the past 5 to 7 years has been in some odd situations that he's adapted to very, very well. And I think in LA, it's the same old story. Westbrook gets traded to a team, people doubt his fit, can he conform, and as usual, he does and thrives in that role. Now some may argue Russ has never been the third option on a team, and he would be correct. But keep in mind, Westbrook at this point, he's about to be 33 years old, and to this day, has not won a championship. That is the one thing for his legacy that is currently missing. And I think for a player Westbrook's caliber, he 100% knows this, and he wants to make this work. Also on the flip side, you have LeBron James, one of the best basketball minds in NBA history. And if anyone can take Westbrook and turn him into a champion, it has to be LeBron. I mean, look at LeBron's career. He's been on some god-awful teams, also some very stacked teams, and some mediocre fringe playoff teams. In his 19 years, he's basically seen it all. He's played on big threes, he's had duos, and he's also been by himself and had to carry teams. And I think for this Lakers team, it's kind of like the 2014 Heat. You have 3 all-star players, they're a little bit older, and they're more prone to injuries. And when speaking of injuries, the one guy I look to is Anthony Davis. This guy in the past 3 years has been really banged up and had some awful injuries. In 2019, he missed 26 games. 2020, he missed 9 games and won the championship. 2021, he missed 38 with groin, Achilles, quad, calf, knee, and ankle injuries. But with that being said, AD healthy is easily a top 10 player. But the question is, will he be healthy when it matters most? And that's why I hate this Westbrook narrative that he's already the problem in LA. When in my eyes, Anthony Davis is the biggest question mark for this Lakers team. Think really hard about it. Who is the best two-way player on the Lakers? Who's the best defender, the best post scorer, and the guy who can get you a bucket from everyone on the floor? LeBron is getting older, he's still great, but at some point AD has to take the reins and be the number one guy. But with his injury history, do you put that all on his plate? I am just really concerned about AD, his overall health, and I think if you're looking for a narrative, it has to deal with AD and his injuries. If he's healthy, they probably win the championship. If he's hurt, then they make it out of the second round. If you want to be very simplistic, it's sink or swim with AD's health. Now getting back to Westbrook and him being the scapegoat for this Lakers team, let's just wind back very quickly 8 months ago in Washington. For the first half of the season, what was the narrative with Westbrook? People called him washed, he was too old, he was run down, he was a walking brick, he had too many turnovers. I mean, it was the same old thing being said about Westbrook, but post All-Star break, he was fantastic because he was healthy. And I think for Westbrook this year, he'll still have very good stats, maybe not his best, but still very good numbers. And for the first time in his career, it's not going to be all gas, no brakes. With LeBron and AD, they will carry a heavy offensive load for Westbrook, and when they stagger his minutes, he'll probably be on the court by himself or playing with AD as a duo. And when it comes to crunch time, that's where I really wonder how good will LA be. And that is my major concern for Westbrook and his overall fit in this team. But once again, I think LeBron James, as well as Westbrook, they're willing and they're gonna make it work. These guys are veterans, they're MVPs, they're tested, and AD and LeBron are NBA champions. And even thinking back to last year, there was a pretty big group of NBA fans who said Kyrie, James Harden, and KD would not work. People said that trio would not work. Remember that, people actually said that. So as always, NBA fans, take the criticism with a grain of salt. I think Westbrook, he'll be just fine, and LA, when it's all said and done, win the NBA Finals. And lastly for this video, I have to address Westbrook's turnovers. And I think for most NBA fans, I guess it is concerning, but Westbrook in his career, he's been a very turnover-prone player since day one. And going into his 14th season, he's not going to change that drastically as a player. But with that being said, looking past the turnovers, Westbrook, he brings energy, he brings intensity, and brings effort every single night, hopefully for 80+ games. That on its own is invaluable for this Lakers team, specifically in the regular season. So that right there is the end of the video, and to kind of recap, I think Westbrook, throughout his career, has been very adaptable. He's played with duos, by himself, as well as big threes. And for the Lakers, don't overreact when they lose 3, possibly 4 games in a row, because at the end of the day, the playoffs are where it matters most. I think come playoff time, this team will be running on all cylinders and be in the NBA Finals. Now with that being said, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.